Hello everyone, it's Natasha from Treasure Books. I am taking you on a journey today through this lavish, shabby chic journal filled with an abundance of ideas and creative inspiration, and that is a promise. Right now, this journal is really chunky because my muse simply demanded something bold and dramatic and extravagant. But if you know me and my style, you know that this isn't quite it. However, the beauty of this journal is that most of the elements can be taken out. In fact, as I flip through the pages and share the ideas, I'll remove those pieces so that you can see both the chunky, lavish version and a more elegant, sophisticated style without all the frill. So I think the best way to begin this video is from the beginning, right? So we shall start with the cover and I'll start slowly removing the pieces. So first thing, this cover it's a hardcover book, and I made this from a cereal box and I covered it with fabric. I have 3 signatures inside this journal, and when I was binding it, I did this crisscross type of a binding on the spine, and of course you can see I added some beautiful beads down here just to add to the shabby chicness of the journal. And during the construction of the book, I added this photo frame. I can't remember what it's called now, but these are the photo frame hanging hooks, maybe, I'm not sure. And I love to put them on journals because then you can go ahead and you can add a tassel or add anything on there and you're good to go. Speaking of tassel, I have this humongous chunky thing on this journal, and I've had this in my stash for such a long time, and it's just been waiting for that perfect project, and I think this is it. Of course, this can be removed and it can be decoration on. I actually had it on a doorknob for a while in my craft room. And also it can be, of course, moved up so it's out of the way for journaling. But looking at this journal is so chunky, it's quite difficult to envision journaling in it. But journal I shall, or I might sell. I haven't decided yet. Okay, I did say I'm going to start removing things as we go. All right, so this is the front cover, and I have a few things going on here. But first of all, this can be removed off of the cover. This also can be removed, but I'm actually going to leave this in because it's holding something else inside. And these pieces are glued on. So as I said, I covered the book in fabric, and then this here is glued on, just so when I remove the pieces it still looks quite nice. Okay, the pieces that I removed are just some, you know, journaling spots, a little image there, and then this one here I made from a greeting card, a little extra journal, let's say, and it's like a vintage greeting card. I have this waterfall effect pages here, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Like I have some of this gold. I can't even remember how I did this. I think I sprayed it with gold something. It's gold spray or something. Anyway, different types of paper in there. Beautiful looking, layered. It just gives the impression of like richness and abundance, and hence it's on the cover. Okay, moving on to this closure. This closure is actually a choker necklace, and I wish it's a little bit smaller so that I can actually keep it contained. But when it's on a shelf, which is where I think it's gonna live, I believe it's gonna live next to my other chunky journals. It's gonna be open like this, and I think it's gonna look quite nice. I'm quite happy with the, you know, how this looks. But again, the whole thing can be removed. So like I said, it's a choker necklace, and it can be removed from the back as well. And here it is, a choker pearl necklace, and I just added these claw clips, I think they're called, and these ribbon end crimps, and that way I can attach and remove as I wish. All right, going on to the inside. So this, what I was talking about before, this is actually a headband. And it can be completely taken off of the journal. I'm not going to because I just don't wanna. But here's another one just so you can see. It's just a headband. And I found a few of these. They were really cheap, and I got a few, and I think they're gorgeous for like covers and this kind of a thing. So it of course serves as a tuck spot on the outside of the journal and also over here on the inside. And inside I had this gorgeous beauty tucked in. I've recently done a video on these paper fans, and they're very easy to make. I'm going to link the video down below. They can be actual functional fans, and I think they look gorgeous in journals. They can be tuck spots and all sorts of stuff. So for this journal, they can be closed all the way also, of course. And for this journal, I decided to showcase this gorgeous beauty right here at the front. So that's where that lives, but for now, it's being taken out. Okay, I think this is absolutely the chunkiest journal I've ever made, so I'm struggling over here. All right, first page is an acetate page. To make it a little bit more special, I went ahead and added some, I'm pretty sure these are rub-ons. By the looks of it, I think it was rub-ons or stickers, you know. These are definitely rub-ons. I remember popping them on. And the beauty of using rub-ons on acetate is that actually it's much easier to apply than it is to apply to paper, where you have to rub and rub like crazy, and then you go to peel it off, and then you have to keep rubbing, and then it's just an absolute nightmare. Applying it onto acetate, easy breezy, and look how beautiful it looks, right? On second page, I've got this gorgeous piece. I made this piece in a video also recently done. Quick 5-minute project or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm going to link that video down below as well. But isn't it gorgeous? Just a window with some glitter and a sticker, and this is a contact paper sandwiched in between two book pages. You can check out how it's done in that video, because I show you step by step. Okay, and then I have this gorgeous, you can't even see it because it's dark and gloomy day, but it's like glittery, beautiful, slightly see-through paper. It feels fabricy rather than vellumy. It's just beautiful. And then I had this clipped in there. Beyond these pages of photos and journaling are treasured memories of the heart. This is actually a stamp that I found somewhere secondhand. I have no idea where you can get it, but I think it's beautiful to be put into journals, assuming there's going to be photographs and stuff in there. All right, on this page, this is coffee dyed, nice crinkly page. I just added this beautiful blue lace up the top and the bottom. They can be like little, I could have something in there kind of tucked in there, but I left it as it is. I think it looks gorgeous. Over here is a sticker. I have these wedding stickers, right, which I'm never going to use. I don't make cards or anything like that. And then this page, this has like a felt raised bits on it. And I have a top, just a top pocket. So I wanted to alternate between, you know, side pockets, bottom pockets, and all that kind of stuff. And I have a little bit of pink lace, which actually was white lace. And then I Easter egg dyed it, used Easter egg dyes to dye the lace. And then I have just some, I don't have a clue where this came from, but they're like printouts of old postcards. And then over here on this page, I have this giant paper clip, and I am pretty sure that I have a video on these, how I made these. They're very chunky, but they look very nice in journals. And then that was holding this piece down. So this is over the page element, let's say, or tuck or something. And then it opens up. And then it's just a 12 by 12 that I cut down and folded in half. And I have this a little die cut here. That serves as a tuck spot. Of course, this little tiny little notebook, extra journaling space kind of thing. A little bit of collage over here, make it look pretty. And that's that one. This was also Easter egg dyed paper. Now throughout the journal, you will see a lot of different colors like these purples and these yellows, even though yellow doesn't really go with this whole thing. But this was supposed to be an Easter egg dye video, right? Back at Easter time. And then I completely changed my mind, but I still have those pages in there. All right, this is just tea dyed with plastic doily over the top to help, you know, create this beautiful design. And then this gorgeous lace on the side. Look how gorgeous that is. All right, and over here we have this tuck spot, and it's just a piece of cardstock for extra journaling. And this tuck spot was made from a long strip of paper, and you can see how it kind of went around, glued it up the top, glued it down here, and that way I have a tuck spot on this side of the page, and then of course also on this side of the page a little tuck spot there for this. And what is this? It's a little booklet. Again, so much writing space in this journal, like this, you know, writing space galore. On this page I have this beautiful lace, created a pocket. I mean, shabby chic. It's all about the colors and the lace and the frill and the Victorian ladies, is it not? Or it doesn't have to be Victorian ladies. Okay, this tag, it's not very shabby chic, but I made it, I had it in my stash, so I wanted to use it. It's just a fabric tag. I made this years ago, probably in a tutorial, and just a fabric tag and two pieces of paper that have been collaged on top, sewn around, a little bit of a thing up here, and that lives in that pocket. Turning the page. All right, this, I should start the video here because this, I mean, look at this glory, just these colors popping at you. Okay, Easter egg dyed paper. These, or was it cabbage or something? I'm not sure. What gives you the purple color? I can't think now. And this is modeling faced. Throw a stencil, let that dry. How beautiful is this contrasting result where you have dark page and then the white on top? It just looks so beautiful. And then here I actually bound doily, like a crochet doily type of a thing, and to give it structure I glued this piece of book page. It is a little bit askew, should the writing kind of goes up a bit, but anyway, I try to ignore it every time I see it, and I can't. I see that all the time. Every time I look at this page, I wish it was just turned just slightly like that. But it's a little bit hard to kind of bind these in without some sort of a structure, which is why I have that piece of paper in there. Over here we have a tuck and just a little extra journaling spot. A little tab over here on the side. So lots and lots of sewing, but I used white thread. It's not really coming through, but I think that's like just real exquisite, and it goes beautifully with this journal. Over here is a napkin decoupage onto paper, and then this here is just a sticker, and again napkin decoupage. And then over here I have this fancy schmancy paper clip holding this journaling card in place. This image came straight from a book or a magazine, a book I think it was. And another thing that I did throughout is, if you look at this stitching, you'll see the white thread, and then you will see a little bit of these brown dots. Okay, that's because my bottom thread is brown, so in my machine. And lately I have been loving the look of this, with the bottom thread is peeping through, and it's just, look at it, it looks like little dots. It's gorgeous. In my mind, these are the shabby chic colors, the baby blue and the pink and the green and the pastels. I could be completely wrong about this. Like, it's not like I did any research or anything. I just have a general idea of what shabby chic is, and then I just go with that. Just a little piece of something there. And then over here, so these images also from a book, and you can see maybe a little bit better what I was talking about with the stitches and the white and brown thread. So brown on this side, not very shabby chic, more like vintage. Let's call this journal a vintage shabby chic style, shall we? And then on this side, isn't it beautiful? Like, this is just my new favorite thing. Gorgeous. And that's the middle of the first signature. I feel like I'm warming up now. Sometimes it takes me a while to get into the groove of things. Over here is a tuck spot, and it also opens up. I love this idea. Just a piece of scrap, right? Cut down to size and fold it in half and glued down just on the 3 sides, and then you have this tuck spot, and then it'll, I mean, I just love that. And this came from a greeting card. These 3 gorgeous little angels. It's just a journaling spot. I cut off the other part that has some writing in it. And then we have some napkin decoupage on that side and also on this side, and a little bit of something up here. And again, you can see that white thread all throughout the journal. It just looks beautiful. Of course, we can't have a lavish shabby chic journal without the ruffled ribbon or whatever this was. Yes, it was ribbon. Would have been better if it was, yeah, pink, but I mean, we love it, don't we? And then the other side of that doily against this purple paper. How beautiful is that? When I finished making this journal last night, I finished and everything was done, I went in and started adding little stickers. So you'll see some of these stickers throughout. They're like silver and gold, and it just looks gorgeous. Okay, here we have that large white pocket, and then you might have seen this in the fan video, the paper fan video. It's like a little version of that paper fan. So here's that first large version, and then we have a mini little version. Large, mini, large, mini. Look how cute! All right, and this was supposed to be glued on here, but I feel like then when it's glued on there and then it's kind of like in this pocket, it's just hidden away. I might change my mind. I might want to have it here. So I just kind of left it unglued, and then I can make the or if I sell the journal, then the new owner can make those decisions. And over here, just a glassine bag. Let's just enjoy the beauty of the crunch. Oh, yes. And a bit of lace. I love this dusty rose pink color. Just absolutely love it, especially, you know, coupled with white and beige. And then I have a little booklet in there, just a little extra writing space. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now this here can't be taken out. It's just like a flip up, right? And a flip up, and then we have like this tag business. We have one pocket there, and we have the other pocket there, and we have a whole lot of interactive element business, okay? And that's what I'm all about. So I'm pretty sure I can just leave these in here, so I don't have to. They're not very bulky, so we'll just leave them in there. Bit of lace. This can be like a wedding. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? A wedding journal. Not this, but some of these ideas. Moving on. Oh, we have, what do we have? We have more flip-ups. This is just, actually my mom gave me a few of these. They're just sitting on my desk. There's a few of them. And of course, you know, this is beautiful in like vintage style journals. And so I just kind of cut it down, put another little bit of lace up the top, and made a flip up. This doesn't do anything. It's just glued down journaling spot. Now this one here, oh yes, it can come off. Just an image from this book that I have from a million years ago, when this used to be a thing. Maybe this is still a thing, where you like layer pieces. So you have one layer, and then you have the horse is another layer, and the man is another layer, and then you have like this 3D image on your wall. Anyway, it's got all these beautiful images. See that? And the best part is that it's white on the other side. Now I'm not gonna go scanning this because that would probably break the copyright laws, and I don't know, I like to be on the safe side. So I just used the original images, and this can be, of course, a journaling spot. And then I have these photo corners, they're stuck down, and then of course this can be taken on and off. It's kind of like a hidden journaling space, shall we say. I might leave that in because it's nice and flat. All right, turning the page, and let's just marvel at this lace. Gorgeous. Only had a few little pieces of this lace. It's mostly gone now. Okay, over here, this was also done in that 5-minute quick idea video. And basically, I mean, it's just so simple. First of all, it's a paper clip. Then we have twine, and then we have beads down the bottom. And this serves as a bookmark. Okay, so you have your journal, and you're like, what am I up to? Oh, I'm up to this page. That's all it is. And it looks beautiful because you can see it hanging out of a journal, you know? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And such a simple, easy little idea. And then in there, I have this also vintage greeting card from, I was going to say the 90s. Oh, goodness. The 90s is not vintage. No. That would make me antique. All right, it's 1988. Okay, so I don't know, I forgot what is vintage. I'm gonna have to Google that now. Darn it. All right, yeah, we've done some Googling. So vintage is at least 20 years old, so this is definitely vintage, but less than 100 years old. So 100 years old and over is classified as antique. All right, I knew this, but I forgot this. So this is a vintage from 1988, and I am also vintage. Vintage Natasa, vintage treasure books. But always look on the bright side of life, right? Because none of us here are antique. I'm pretty sure there could be a couple of us that are antique. Okay, so there's that little vintage beauty. Moving along. Okay, oh, what do we have here? We have the top pocket. It's just the other side of what we've already seen, and then a little bit of something up the top over here. Oh, I wish you could feel this paper. Oh, it I actually don't like how that feels. It's felt, but it looks stunning, looks beautiful. And this, look at this looks gorgeous. If you want to know how to make this paper, I know the lighting isn't the best, but I have a video, the Easter egg dyed video, and then you like scrunch the paper up and then you put it next. Anyway, I'll link it down below if you want to have a look. And again, this from the other side, and this gorgeous fabricy paper. And we are officially moving into the second signature. But again, I just want to point out acetate page and rub-ons. Lovely. Okay, starting off over here, I can't really see, but this is also an acetate page. But this image here is, I can't pronounce this word, decal, or decal, I don't know. It's a transparent image that you plop down onto the wet surface, and it has to be like real slick surface. People put it on their wardrobe doors and their windows and all that kind of stuff. I put it on acetate, and the beauty is this. You can see it from both sides, whereas rub-on stickers are white. Rub-on transfers are white on one side. This decal or decal thing. Okay, on this page, I just cut out, you'll see this piece later on. I cut out the oval shape, which I used somewhere else. And then I have this negative left over, and I glued it down, but I left a little tuck open. And then these two pieces of ephemera can be tucked in here and live happily ever after. Oh, okay, this one here. First of all, it's a belly band. So we have this underneath, and I used plastic fruit netting. I have a video on this as well. So this is a pocket, and then on the other side, also a pocket. In that video, I share lots of ideas on how you can use plastic fruit netting, and this was just one of them where you can make pockets. And then this came out of that 5-minute quick ideas video. Basically, of course, you know already, it's a belly band, but it's also a full page that opens up this way and this way. So lots of interactivity there, and this is glued onto the page because it's a belly band, so I can't actually take it out. Okay, then we have an image that came out of that book, this one here, and a paper clip with a little charm at the end, and turning the page. This page here was sent to me in Happy Mail actually, and it was already made into a page, so I just put it in this journal. And this is a vellum pocket, and I love the idea of using vellum pockets, like this kind of a thing, not using vellum for this kind of a thing. It looks beautiful because it's see-through. I love it. And then this was also in that Happy Mail from Daniela, Clara Daniela. And then look, it opens up and it's got this gorgeous gorgeous paper. This was just paper, and you can see perhaps it was a printable. It's printed out and then stamped journal, and then little stamps down there. What a cool idea. Take a page, fold it in threes, make it into a tag shape, add a bit of lace, and what a gorgeous addition to a journal, right? Turning the page. Oh, lots of things happening over here, so let's go one by one. I made a circular notebook. It's got pages for journaling, right? And it's just circular pages folded in half and sewn right through to make it into a little booklet. Then we have a tag. Note the stitching. Beautiful. All right, very simple tag. And more little tags. And this here is a large doily. It's actually one doily, and it creates a pocket on the other side as well. So here I have one pocket. I'll show you how to make it in a moment. And I have another pocket and this flower. And then on the other side, I just made it into one. Well, theoretically, it's two pockets, but you know, I didn't fold this down, so I just made it into this one pocket. And again, the same thing, circular booklet. Pretty cool, very easy to make. And these flowers, they kind of are glued down. Okay, so just very quickly, here's a large doily, and so just fold it in half and fold it in half again, and that's it. Literally, that is it. Then you take your page. Let's just grab this because it's on my desk, and you pop it down onto the corner, and you glue it down the side here and the side here, glue it down, and there you have your one pocket. Or if you want to have two, well, it's already kind of two pockets, but like if you want to accentuate the second pocket, you can bring this down like this, or flip it in, ink the edge so it's a bit more visible, and then you have a pocket, and then of course on the other side the same thing. Okay, easy peasy, right? Back to the journal. Over here we have this thing that opens up and flips up and down, and then of course that is a belly band. And then I have just a page in there for more writing of all of your dirty little secrets. No, I'm just kidding. I'm taking all this stuff out, but will I know where to put it back in? We shall soon find out. Okay, over here, this is one of those like placemat things, and you're supposed to write the name at the dinner table, you know, for weddings maybe, I'm not sure. But doesn't that look beautiful on this page, this blue page? Absolutely gorgeous. And it's just clipped in with a little paper clip. I might even leave this in here. And I have a little charm there, and then also I have a little charm down here, and maybe if I turn it this way, 3 little charms, 2 on the lace and 1 on the paper clip. Turn the page, and again, these images are so beautiful from that book that I can't even remember what book I took it out from, but it's a nice way to create a cohesive journal using like the same kind of a thing throughout. All right, this was supposed to be part of the Easter egg dyed video that I was planning to make and didn't. And I Easter egg dyed fabric as well as paper. So you can see yellow Easter egg dye, and then this fabric is blue Easter egg dye. And also this was white lace that's now pink. So I used red Easter egg dye, and that's a pocket with a little tag in there. And also this here is a rub on, and this took ages, like rubbing this thing on. It's just, You know, I'm not a fan. I'm planning to make a video on using rub-ons because they're an absolute nightmare. Let me tell you, like trying to rub it onto, it just seems so easy. It's supposed to like just transfer so easy, but it never does. I have a little sticker up there. Maybe I'll take these out. And turning the page. Okay, whoo, this. Well, do I love this. All right, so this is just a handkerchief. This is the other side. So it's a beautiful handkerchief that I kind of folded up and in and created like a page in a journal that's actually a pocket. Right? And then inside that pocket is this removable element. So we have a tag and another little piece of something, and it's 3 book pages folded and a bit of a ruffle. This piece was sent to me in Happy Mail, so made me real happy. Now, if you're wondering what Happy Mail is, whenever I mention Happy Mail in a video, somebody asks me, what's Happy Mail? So Happy Mail is basically when you send somebody or somebody sends to you little things that you can use in your journals, or it can be for any theme or any reason, but in our community, it's for journals. And it's simply like no strings attached. I'm sending you some beautiful things to make you happy. That's what Happy Mail is. Sometimes referred to as RAK, random act of kindness. All right, I love this element. So this here is an envelope which opens up. Okay, we'll get to it in a moment. Under here I have a book page pocket, decoupage napkin on the book page. And as I said, it's a pocket, and inside just something to write on. This element here is also from that video, quick little 5-minute ideas. And basically it's an envelope that you open up and then you bind some pages in. So have a look at that video because you'll get lots of ideas. I mean, I'm hoping you're already getting lots of ideas watching this video. All right, that closes. I can't remove this piece because it's glued onto the other side. But then we have this little, like a little bag. Okay, I made this in a video as well. I made lots of them. Here's another one. And this was also in a video where I share lots of ideas in one video. I'm going to try and find this video. I'll link it down below as well. They're very, very easy to make, and they're very elegant, and they're like actual little gift bags, right? But I glued this one in, and then inside I have this tag. It's journaling, and then it's also a tuck spot. How gorgeous. That's pretty cool. Over here is another envelope, which you'll see on the other side, but made into a tuck spot, and a collage little tag made also in a video. I'm not even gonna bother looking for this video because I mean you can see what it is. And you know, just some writing, some collage, a bit of black. Doesn't really go with our shabby chic, but it kind of does. We have this butterfly here. So, and then as I said, this is an envelope. I'll tell you about this in a second. The envelope was embossed, and then of course it opens up. Here I have a tuck spot, and then that piece that I spoke about before. I just used my die cutting machine and cut out this piece. There's the negative, and there's the piece. You see? This. Look at this exquisite beauty. This was made in a tutorial called Victorian Letters or something to that effect, and basically it's a page and it opens up and it looks something like this. Yeah, and you can make it so many different ways. This kind of, I mean, you don't even have to watch the tutorial because it's pretty self-explanatory just looking at it like this. But just for some extra inspiration, if you want to have a look at that video, look how many I made. I have little ones that are oriented horizontally like this, or vertically, I should say. I'll just quickly show you. Gorgeous, gorgeous. More gorgeousness. We have closures. We have all these different ways of making them. Look how beautiful they are. Then we have vertical ones. Then we have, what's this? Oh, this was a letter to the wounded, from the wounded soldier. You'll know what I mean if you've seen that video. Oh, this was supposed to be a bow, but it isn't anymore. Okay, more horizontal one. This one's real Victorian lady. Victorian, they all open up. Look how gorgeous they are. They all open up into full A4 size sheet. have a look at the video. I mean, look at this and this. And now I have all these pieces, and when I'm making journals, I can go ahead, oh, this one has to be my favorite one. I can go and just grab a piece and put it in my journal. Look, or send it in Happy Mail. Oh, now this one might be my favorite one. They're all kind of my favorite one. They're all my little babies. Maybe not this one. Okay, inspiration galore. I hope at least. If you watched that video and made some, you probably have a whole bunch of your own. All right, on this page, I have another little charmity charm on a paper clip, and it's just a doily folded in half onto the page. It's kind of like a tuck spot. It can be like this or like this, and then something else underneath. And this is a laminated little piece. Turning. Oh, well, oh, look at this. We have another envelope. Oh, well, let me tell you about this. I'm going to take it out. First of all, the Easter egg die technique. Lovely, lovely, lovely. The little wedding sticker. And this envelope, look how beautiful this is. This was done in a tutorial where I showed you how to make all these envelopes without any tools, like no envelope making tool. No measuring, none of that stuff. You're just folding, and they're all like wonky envelopes, and this one's pretty straight and stuff, but we made like wonky envelope, lots of fun stuff. All right. Anyway, is this not shabby chic? I wasn't going for shabby chic, but when it's within this journal, it's most definitely lavish shabby chic. Shabby chicness galore. Moving along. Oh, what's going on here? Absolutely nothing. Perhaps might be a good idea to just leave some pages, you know, kind of as they are. I did embellish slightly with this trim on the side. I'm not entirely sure what this trim is for. I got it on Facebook amongst other things. It looks like this. And then it has like this kind of stuff. So maybe it can go like on sleeves or whatnot. But I think it's perfect for pages, sides of pages. See that? Just plop it onto the page and sew it down. All right, over here, a book page pocket, decoupage napkin on top, and then this little flip down notepad, also done in a video. Lots of these things were done in like my 7 quick junk journal embellishment ideas, or 5, you know. I have a few of those videos, and they're always popular because people are looking for like a quick thing that you can make, and you can make a whole bunch, and that's what I usually do. And then when I'm making a journal, I can just pull things out of my stash and fill up my journal and go overboard as I did with this one. But still, it's nice to build up a stash, right? Okay, this is that handkerchief. I just love that idea. And this was a greeting card, and it said something like Happy Mother's Day, or I'm not sure what. And I cut that, all of that writing out, and then I had this left, and of course I glued it onto a piece of cream cardstock and sewed around. Doesn't that look beautiful? Lots of writing here, writing space, and then even here. Lovely. Here we have yellow page with some beautiful pink lace. Yellow and pink doesn't generally go well together, but it kind of works in this instance. And then white and yellow for sure works. Okay, here I have this kind of a thing happening that opens up over the page, kind of a thing, which now I have no words. What would you call? Like it can be a tuck spot, you know, obviously writing, and then when it's tucked in with a paper clip, that can be a tuck spot. Just so many things that we can do. And that trim again that I've just shown you, like, look, maybe it's like seam bias or something. And then I put lace underneath and lace underneath. Oh, over here I have the same kind of a thing. It's a little tuck spot under this vellum. So I was just testing out stamping onto vellum, and then I did this. Very simple. Oh, another naked page. Only it's not naked because remember we have a thing there. Okay, I love this one. A few little things happening here. We have a tag. Oh, I just love how that looks, that lace over the top of this vellum pocket. just a little cardstock tag and some beautiful lace and a tuck spot here across the corner of the page, and then a little booklet that has some writing pages. You can see A4 sheet of paper folded up in half and then edges folded down. We have pockets and, you know, tags that can be journaled on, and of course pages. How sweet. Turning the page, a tuck spot over here, writing space, and then this beautiful embossed green page which I inked the edges a little bit and I left it just as it is over here. All right, start of a third signature, starting off with an acetate page, and I put washi tape, which is gold, or pink and gold, but in the video it's kind of looking white. This is what it looks like. It's a little bit more pink than it's showing in the video. So I put washi tape on both sides, and then I just punched some holes, and we can weave ribbon through and do fun stuff, but I just left it as it is because I think it looks beautiful. All right, over here, this is a pocket, and I have a little squishy fabric little thing in there. And this here is actually like a little, you're supposed to make it into a little gift box, but I just love the paper. And then I have some ribbon. I weaved some ribbon through and made that, you know. Do we have something else in there? No. This is just a sticker, some stickers. Here, this one is actually a pocket. Vellum on one side, paper on the other, and then an envelope. I'm just all about envelopes in this book, aren't I? I get all this stationery from op shops, thrift, secondhand stores, you know. People don't really write letters anymore, so I tend to find a lot of this stuff in thrift stores. And that one was kind of sitting inside the pocket and clipped onto the page. Then we have a doily page, tea-dyed. Then we have another doily over, actually we have another pocket happening. So first of all, a little tuck spot in there with some, you know, something. This doily was wrapped around. This was also dyed in some way. And then inside the pocket, I have this monthly planner thing. So it'd be pretty cool to include like 12 of these in a journal. Monthly planners. And then on the other side, I have a belly band. This is stamped. So this is actually 3 layers. We have a stamped piece of cardstock, then I have lace underneath that's peeking through, the purple lace, and then I have this cardstock, and I've just glued that down, made it into a vertical belly band, and then just a little piece with this 3D kind of a thing. 2 stamps, one directly onto the page, one onto a separate piece of paper, cut it out, put it on top with the foam sticker thing, and then it creates this 3D effect. Then we have another pocket. This is a decoupage napkin with an embossed tag with that beautiful doily up the top. And turning the page, beautiful image from a book and 2 little tags. I actually didn't glue all the way down so that I don't have a deep pocket. This is actually a short pocket. It stops right there. So I applied glue all over, but I left a little opening here for these little tags. I might actually leave them in there because half these things I won't even remember where they go. And I mean, it doesn't really matter. We can put anything anywhere, but you know, tea-dyed page with beautiful white lace. This here was done in a video where I was kind of showing you all the different ways that you can use staples as decorative elements. And this is just one of the ways, I should say. I just have some ripped up book pages and ripped up paper, I should say, and held together with staples. And then I glued it down onto a page. Looks kind of like a little boat. And then on this side, I have this clear washi tape with some butterflies. And then over here, a little tuck spot. Just some, you know, when I'm making tags and I cut off the corners, I keep all those bits, and then they can be very effective for this kind of a thing in a journal. I hope I'm not boring you to death. You probably wouldn't be here if I was. All right, another one of those strip of paper that I wrap around the page, and then it creates a tuck spot on this side for like a little something, right? And then a tuck spot on the other side. I just put a little doily in there. I'm gonna keep it in there. This here is a book page, and I just added some collage, and then I kept this as a little pocket. This is actually a sticker. Isn't that sweet? Turn, turn, turn. This is a sticker, and then over here, vellum pocket, some stickers, and then inside, this was also made in some video, I think, where we were using envelopes, but it kind of in a different way. Like you can see that this envelope is upside down. I chopped off the sides, created pockets here for these tags, and then created pockets on the sides, and of course created little booklets with this waterfall effect for both sides, right? Beautiful, and so simple and easy to make. Everything that I mentioned that I've done in a video, I will link down below if you want to dive deeper. We're nearing the end. All right, sticker of a chair, because why not? My friends, you know what you gotta do? You gotta live fully, laugh heartily, love completely, and enjoy the journey. Oh yes, you must. Turn, turn, turn. All right, this, another vellum pocket. This is actually from packaging, so I had to cover the back because it had like writing on the other side, but look how gorgeous. Here I have a book page that I then glued these bits down to create like writing spaces, and those writing spaces came from this. Like these were just from some manila folders, and you know, you're supposed to, I don't know. Anyway, I tea-dyed the whole thing, and then I cut out these pieces and inked the edges, and because what do you do with a book page? And look, this was from Lady of the House. This was a book about Princess Diana, and it was written by her butler, I believe. Is that what it's called, butler? Or is there like a more acceptable 2025 term? I'm not sure. Okay, I love this. This is a sticker of a hand, and the hand on its own just looks random. Okay, totally random. And it came out of this sticker book. You see, I even have to write myself notes that I need to know this is a sticker book. And it's got a whole bunch of hands and other stuff as well. But let's look at this. Hands, okay? They can be like used in many ways, but then it's got this ridiculous, like what's this? The core. What's this? Some of these things, I swear, it doesn't like make any sense. This body isn't mine. I'm so sorry. What? It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, lots of hands and lots of cool stuff. So I cut out a hand, glued it up the top, and then I have this little sticker. This is a sticker. I don't know why I'm showing you this, but I am, because I want to show you my beautifully organized stickers. I have a video on organizing my stickers, and you can see here, oh, I want a butterfly. Well, let's go to the butterfly section. Oh, I want something gold. Well, let's go to the gold section. And this is the stickers, or are the stickers that I'm talking about. They're just like a gold string sticker, which, I don't know. There it is. And there it is. Doesn't that look cool? And you know, I can write this way, and then I can write, I don't know, I like all this stuff. And then I had a little bit left, so I put it up here. Journaling spot, this doesn't go anywhere, it stays. All right, on this page we have another little thing. This is a glassine bag that's been Easter egg dyed. We have some trim and a little bit of an offcut of something, and it's like crinkle galore. And then a scrap piece of scrapbook paper that I have left from whatever I was doing, and I just had a little sticker on top. And that, my friends, lives in here. Here I have some gold stickers on the side, and I've done stenciling, and this is just a little flip up. But paper instead of fabric. It's glued up the top, so it's not going anywhere. Over here, I think I was like, towards the end, I was like, oh, I just want to get over and done with. So I was like, glued stuff down. This was also from Easter egg dyeing. And this page, and then over here, those things I've spoken about before, little journaling spots. And I made that into a pocket. Oh, we'll take it out. And then what do we have here? Oh yes, I seem to have a lot of these pockets with decoupage napkins because I had them ready made, you see. And then I have a little block of paperage to write some notes, and then just a little bit of fabric up the top. Gorgeous. Here we have another pocket. Did I put something? Oh yes. So another one of those notepads, but this time it's been wrapped in plastic. This is actually from pockets from photo albums. I deconstructed a photo album, and then I had all these little plasticky bits, and I used them in all different ways, and this is just one of the ways. And I have a little sticker up the top. Just very simple, but quite nice. And then you can see I was over it. I was over it by the end. And over here is another vellum pocket. So first of all, I have a little tag with some twine tied around just because it looks pretty. This was in some video. Doesn't even matter at this point, right? Then the vellum pocket, and inside I have another one of those monthly planner pages that I just sprayed with tea. So I did this last night. So when I just need something real quick, I don't want to do my full tea dyeing process. I just have this as just black tea in a spray bottle, and then poop and let it dry. I don't know why I said poop. So with the spraying technique, you get this kind of a look. Isn't it beautiful? Rather than the fully just tea dyed page like this, for example. Oh, is this the last page? Oh, it's nearly the last page. This is another one of the little things that I did in using staples as decorative elements. And look how beautiful this looks on a page. I can't remove this because it's glued down, but it's just 3 pieces of scrap paper. Ink the edges and off you go. Actually 4 pieces because we have this little piece. And it looks beautiful on a page. And then over here, okay, this is the last page. I have this really tall, I don't know if you can see it. It's a really tall glassine bag. So I kind of folded it in half, but kind of askew. And then this is a tuck spot underneath. Just a little piece of ephemera. This was sent to me in Happy Mail. I think it's a printable of some sort, but I wouldn't know who or where it came from. Like who designed it. I have no idea. And then we have a tag. Gorge. And handmade by Natasa from Treasure Books, my little stamp. And then this very last piece. This is a writing board, and this little painting, let's call it a painting. I mean, I can't paint, guys, but I did a video. Yes, I did. Basically, I used watercolors, and I just went pop, 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 and did this, and then drew stems on book pages, and I made a whole bunch. And then I can use these book pages as embellishments in journals and all different things. And I made this. It's laminated. It's got a little thing up here, a little fabric bead, which is another thing I have a video on. I mean, you know, I've been doing this for a while. I have a lot of videos, and I know that it's kind of annoying hearing, I did this in the video, I did that in the video, and this was in this video. I know, but you know, you might see something and you're like, I really want to make that. Do we have a tutorial? Well, if you look in the description box, all the tutorials will be there. So, writing board. What is a writing board, you might ask? Well, since this is a really chunky journal, and there's all sorts of, well, now there isn't. Now it's nice and flat, and there's not much kind of impeding the writing process. But let's say we have something really chunky. Here's a chunky bit here. But let's say you want to write on this page, but you have that chunky thing underneath. Let's say you want to write on this page. You have that chunk. Well, you put your writing board underneath and off you go. Isn't that genius? Absolutely. Where were we? Oh, well, we were at the end. Okay, now you can see how this journal looks without the craziness happening. When it's empty, this is how it looks. And this is how I usually make my journals. This is my style. It's not gaping open. It's not difficult to use. It's not difficult to write in when you have this massive journal and you want to write on this page, but everything is in your way and you're kind of writing like this. Might be difficult. But I made this journal chunky because that's what I envisioned in my mind, and I wanted to fill it completely And that's what I did. I can take it all out like I did, and it still looks fully embellished and beautiful, and it still has all these elements that are kind of glued in that you can't actually remove. So this on its own, done. And now you'll be able to see the actual cover a little bit better. So if that's going to be tucked in there, we have, oh, did I point this out? I mean, come on, look at those beads. This, a lot of work went into this, as I'm sure you can tell. So that's tucked in there, and then I have some other pieces tucked in there. And this is what the journal looks like without all the chunk and all the frill. And this is all the stuff that I took out of the journal. Look how much stuff there is inside the journal. Look at this. I mean, of course it's going to be alligator mouth, right? Now I'm gonna have the satisfaction of putting all the things back inside, and I think it might be fun to do it like real quick, ASMR style. Yeah, let's do it. Well, what can I say? I think this satisfied some type of a deep desire in the little girl inside of me that wants nice, pretty things that she can't have. The lavish, the extravagant, the dramatic, the shabby chic. I feel like we can just make something just for the hell of it. Like, it doesn't have to have a purpose or a direction or any of that stuff. And we can enjoy the finished project, and it doesn't have to be anything. And I'm only saying this because I get comments like, it's pretty, but what do you do with it? A lot, especially people who are not familiar with the whole junk journaling process and what it's all about. And you know, to me it's straightforward, like you write in it, you memory keep. I'll stop talking now. I really want to hear your thoughts. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is this something that you would make? Is there something that you crave to make, not to sell, not to gift, but something that's just for you, that satisfies perhaps an element of yourself that, you know, perhaps in the past you couldn't have the pretty things, and now you want to have all the pretty things all in one place? This is pretty much it for me. So anyway, thank you. If you're still here, thank you for watching. I hope you're feeling inspired. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Oh, can this be like a handle? Oh, it can be. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's not get too crazy, shall we?